everyone, my name is Emma. Today we're going to be investigating some common misconceptions about biology and evolution, and hopefully we'll learn something along the way. Hi, do you have a second to talk about the evolution of land plants?
Sure, they evolved from algae, right?
Sounds like you already have a good grasp on this. Green algae, which exists today, are thought to be similar to land plants' most recent common ancestor. This is because they both have what's called alternation of generations.
Well, I'm dying to know, how did plants evolve to live on land in the first place?
Well, let's go check out some plants and find out. What we can see here is a vascular plant. It has what's called a waxy cuticle to keep water from evaporating. It also has roots, which pull up water from the soil and keep it anchored. These mosses, on the other hand, don't have a vascular system, so they have what's called rhizoids, which just keep them anchored into the soil. It's much like their ancestral algae, which had holdfasts to keep them in place.
Wow, it's so cool that it took this long for moss or any other plant to evolve.
Absolutely. That's why it's so important to study biology, so we can conserve organisms like these who have worked hard to survive and evolve for millions of years. Hi, do you have a second to talk about human evolution?
Sure.
Great. Tell me a little bit about what you already know.
Well, I know that humans evolved from monkeys a long time ago.
Right. Do you happen to know which species of ape we're most closely related to?
I'd probably say the chimpanzees, because they're the smartest.
That makes sense. Homo sapiens are most closely related to chimpanzees and another species called bonobo. We're still in the great ape family because we're more related to great apes than any other kind of ape.
Does that mean we evolved from chimpanzees?
Not quite. Chimpanzees weren't around long ago when humans split from the ape lineage. What it really means to be related is that we share a common ancestor. We're more related to chimpanzees than orangutans, for example, because our most recent common ancestor shared with chimpanzees lived closer to modern day than our most recent common ancestor shared with orangutans.
So is it kind of like how I'm more related to my second cousin than my third?
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
But why are humans so much more evolved than the rest of the apes?
Be careful. Why do you think that humans are more evolved than other species?
It's because we're smarter. Duh.
Well, that may be true, but it's also true that dragonflies were around for hundreds of millions of years before humans ever evolved.
So does that make dragonflies more evolved than us?
Actually, every species alive today is equally evolved.
Well, we're still more evolved than dodo birds, right?
Yeah, we're still more evolved than dodo birds.
Wow, it's so nice outside.
I know. Isn't it so cool how everything's interconnected?
But how?
Well, you see all this grass? There's so much of it that it makes up almost all of the biomass, so that's a dominant species. And there are worms that are ecosystem engineers because they aerate the ground and change it to help the grass thrive.
Whoa, look, there's a bunny eating grass over there.
Aw, that bunny's getting all of its energy from the grass, and eventually a predator will get its energy from the bunny.
Why would you say that? That's so sad.
I know, but if there weren't predators eating the bunnies, all of the grass could be gone, and then the bunnies could starve.
I suppose the predators need to get their food too.
Yeah, these predators are as important as a keystone is to holding a bridge together. That's why they're called keystone species.
Wow, so all these species evolved to fit their own little niche.
Yeah, isn't that so cool?
That's so cool.
Do you guys have any last comments?
So a fun fact, a common misconception is that the earth is flat, but the earth is actually, round.
It's actually
It's
velociraptor.
round because the
Yeah.
lizard people live inside of the earth, which is who we evolved from.
Well, you're right that the lizard people do live in there, but it's really a velociraptor shaped
No,
earth.
so you're wrong.
No,
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 you're
it's,
wrong.
It's
Where's your
velociraptor
proof?
shaped.
Where's your
well,
proof?
The mountains. What do you think those are? It's a round Earth? No. The
So
mountains
as you
are
can
teeth.
see,
No, the
there are
mountains-
many
the
different
mountains-
views
the
on
mountains are
evolution.
teeth
It is
on the
important that we
velociraptor.
respect all
Right.
views while
Right,
still
no.
embracing
No, that's not
science.
how that